All right, we are live. David Meltzer, welcome to the future of fitness, my friend.
I love it. Anything that involves the future and the infinite loop of time is right up my alley. So, Eric, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, this is really cool. This is kind of like a holiday treat to myself. Like it's not, I get to interview a lot of executives within the industry, a lot of investor types, thought leaders, but you're kind of you're I don't even know how to put it. Let me ask this. I'm going to ask you a question, but first of all, I'm just going to do a quick introduction from your website. So, David Meltzer is the chairman of the Napoleon Hill Institute and formerly served as CEO of the renowned Layberg Steinberg Sports and Entertainment Agency, which was the inspiration for the movie Jerry Maguire. First of all, super cool, right? Now, it can continue to go on. I'm going to let people go to dmeltzer.com and read the rest. When someone sits down or you sit down on a plane, and I presume you travel a lot, and someone next to you doesn't know who you are, asks you what you do, in one sentence, what do you tell them?
Use my content in all formats to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. That's my mission. And how I'm going to do it is I am expert at three things: making a lot of money, helping a lot of people, and having a lot of fun.
They're amazing things to be really good at. Your content creation is, I was going over it today and I've been reviewing it actually for months. It's off the charts, man. Like like the sheer volume, the quality of it is something to aspire to. I mean, what does that look like on a day-to-day basis? You have someone following you around with a camera all the time? I
It
mean, for
used to be
real, like,
that.
do you?
Yeah, it used to be that. Now, because the community grew. So the number one thing to know about my content, it always has had one objective. It's to build community. So it's different than a lot of people who build content to make money, to sell things. My goal was a very long vision of, if I can build a community of people that want to help each other and know people that will help each other, they'll buy from each other and sell for each other for life. And that's how you make money in the long run. And so I wasn't worried about selling advertisements. And so any opportunity I had with the advent of more and more technologies, I used a multiplicity of platforms and distribution in order to facilitate putting as much content as I like. Now, the difference in me than most people is I'm blessed in one way that a lot of people aren't blessed. I love doing it. So people are like, you go live every single day. I'm like, yes, I do.
It's amazing.
Why? Because I love it. If somebody loves golf and you were like, "Hey, come play Augusta every single day of your life," and you love golf, nobody's going to ask you, "Hey, why do you play Augusta every single day?" So doing what I do is like playing Augusta to a golfer every day. So I have a huge advantage over most people. On top of it, I have a quality that creates ease in my life. And it started from having very difficult surroundings as a child. I have a capability, like Viktor Frankl, to learn to love what I don't like or love, and learn to love what other people don't like or love. And because of my OCD, I'm consistent and persistent in learning to love what I don't like or love, or other people don't like or love. And I do that every day in the pursuit of my own potential, which means life will tell you all its secrets. You see, these people, these fools out there saying, "Oh, you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life." Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. Because you have employees in overhead, you moron. And even if you love what you do, trust me, it's a pain in the ass to have overhead and employees. So my thing is, I'm one of the experts in the world that, like Viktor Frankl, that gives meaning to shit. And I give a good meaning to shit. And so I've learned to enjoy the shit, which allows me to accelerate, aggregate, and compound exponentially where I want to be or better, including my content.
Yeah, this is great. This is already exceeding expectations. Okay, so one of the things I want to really
Thank you.
nail down with you, because I don't have you for very long. You're a busy man.
Active. Busy means unavailable. I'm active. That means
Okay,
available, but I
there you
got a
go.
lot of shit done, a lot of shit to do.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, great. So our industry, the fitness industry, I've been around for a minute. This is a unique time. I'm going to call it like a renaissance, a rebranding, whether it's conscious or subconscious of the entire industry, but it is changing. And there's a lot of converging factors, right? We have, GLP-1s, we have the advent of longevity, precision wellness, whatever you want to call it, introduction of HSA, FSA dollars. So insurance is starting to get into the game for gym memberships and Peloton and all these things. Consumer demand is really high. I mean, just from an educational standpoint, you look at the rise of shows like, Huberman or Dr. Gabby Lyons or Dr. Gabby the Lion, sorry, Atia, like all these people, like there's a thirst and demand for better health knowledge. Gen X is, way healthier than previous older generations. Like they don't drink as much. They're super into wellness. It's great. And the younger generation just seem to follow that suit. Now, I don't want to get political, but we seem to have an opportunity where there's the political will. If RFK Jr. gets in of like, hey, we can make some real change from a legislative standpoint. So all I'm getting to is like we're changing. We're evolving into something that is more health and wellness and, something more holistic, as much as I hate that word. How do we harness that change? When you see change in an industry, because you've seen it before, I'm sure numerous times, who comes out on top and what makes them different?
Number one, it's a great question. The only thing I would add to that revolution and evolution is that for the first time that we value health before our families, our finance, and our faith even. And so people are getting it that all these other things that we used to put in front of our health are not worth it. And so that's the catalyst for everything, including the regulations, the political momentum that is there, whether, believe it or not, RFK Jr. gets put in that place, it's going to be a different world. So, but how do we do it? This is really interesting because my knowledge of it stems from my sports career because I help people with, and they come to me and ask me, Dave, can you help me transition from the corporate world to the entrepreneur world? Can you help me transition from the NFL into the business world? Can you help? And that world transition really bothers me. And not in a sexual context. That doesn't bother me for people that want to do that. That's cool. But in a business context, military guys transitioning into the real world, they'll say, no. See, what applies here is exactly how you deal with acceleration of change. So what you do is you take inventory in your skills. You take inventory of your knowledge of who and what. And then you actually take inventory of your desire. Earlier on, I told you, I love going live. I love doing interviews. I love content. That's a desire of mine. It's not everybody's desire. So after you've taken inventory of your skills, your knowledge of who and what, and your desire, now we deal with the change. So now we say to ourselves, what's doing well today? So are these longevity institutes? Is Ozempic doing well? But what's doing well today? And then we look at what's stable today. What hasn't moved in the last 6 years? Then we look at what do we think will be doing well in the future? Taking into account what's doing well and what's stable, what do I think will be doing well 5, 10 years from now? Then what we do is we take our skills, our knowledge, and our desire, and we align it with what's doing well, what's stable, and what we think are doing well. And now we evaluate and prioritize the options, opportunities, and touches of favor that exist in the careers, industries, and jobs that are available in those three aspects according to our skills, knowledge, and desire. So I have a client, Michael Brandrop. He's an artist and he was making no money. I aligned his incredible skills, knowledge, and desires into the active sportswear space, skateboarding, snowboarding, and he started doing art by designing skateboard art and snowboard art. Made a fortune. Then he started to apply it to collectibles. So he got a Topps deal. He did the Tony Gwynn ball, the Mickey Mantle ball. The man's making a fortune, not selling art in a gallery, which ironically, because he built such a big name in active sports and through these corporate deals, he now actually is being invited to do sculptures and regular art in galleries. And so what I want people to do in this wellness, health, fitness space that's growing exponentially because everybody's putting health, not everyone, there's a huge amount of people that put health first above family and finance and things we never historically as humans have done. Now, take inventory of your skills, knowledge, and desire. Find out the jobs, careers, and industries that are doing well, stable, and you think are going to do well. You're going to have so many different options. You're going to hire me to do the last thing, which is prioritize them, because you're going to now be overwhelmed, which will cause you to procrastinate, and you'll have a whole different problem than transitioning.
That's great. Can we unpack that in an example? I'm going
Yeah.
to give you like, I don't know, name kind of a role in a wellness, maybe a independent gym owner,
Yeah.
right? Or something like that. Like how would you leverage that framework that you just stated in a practical case?
So an independent gym owner may have the skills, knowledge, and desire in a specific area of fitness. Usually they'll get into owning a gym because they're good at, cardio or strength or yoga or whatever it is. They may also just know a who. So a lot of gym owners may be the who or know a who. And so they partnered with a famous athlete or bodybuilder, Flex Lewis, for example, 7-time consecutive bodybuilding champion. So he's a gym owner, but I coach Flex, and we took the skills and knowledge and desires of being the world champion for 7 times in a row, Mr. Olympia. And I said, look, you have a skill of being extremely disciplined. You have a skill of also knowing nutrition, knowing how to do certain things, strength, all these things. So let's apply it to creating your own gym equipment. You're in Las Vegas. There's a whole transient community that comes in. You're a celebrity. Bring in other celebrities to work out at the gym, which will cause your memberships to rise. Create your own line of footwear, gym footwear, because it's a non-competitive space. Besides a couple pieces of shoe, nobody really owns the market. You're a big name. Why not come up with a weightlifting shoe? So there's a variety of things that you start thinking of industries, careers, and jobs that are aligned with synergistic to what's doing well, it's stable, and what he thinks is going to do well in the future. Created a podcast in his gym because he's a celebrity, knows other celebrities. So when they have Mr. Olympia in Las Vegas, he does all these different things to bring people in that he wants to do business with, the Monsters of the world, the Metrexes of the world, the Gears, sunglasses, and he gets all these endorsement deals. So there's so many different people. Alex Hormozi is one of my favorite. There's a lot of, 19-year-old life coaches out there. When I say that, I mean a lot of false gurus that have no experience or situational knowledge. In this space, when we talk about knowing the who and knowing the what, I would seek out someone like Alex Hormozi, pay him whatever he charges to teach me as a gym owner what options, opportunities, and touches of favor are aligned with my skills, knowledge, and desire in the industries, careers, and jobs, because that guy knows his shit. And why should I have to pay the dummy tax when Alex already has, and he understands sales, marketing, industries, all these different things? And I don't care what it would cost. I would pay Alex if I was in that space to help me with what's doing well, what's stable, and what I think is going to do well according to my skills, knowledge, and desire.
So I'm going to ask you the question a lot of people think when it comes to coaching, right? From a business or mindset coach or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but David, that all sounds great. I would love that. I don't have the money for it. I don't have the time for it, right? I'm struggling just to keep the lights on, to pay my staff, whatever it may be. We're not going to make it to the next investment round, whatever it is. I'm limited in resources that I wish I could do that, but I can't.
Well, number one, only go with a coach that guarantees that there'll be a profit center. So if a coach is not guaranteeing that they can become a profit center for you, then don't go with them, especially in that circumstance, because there's no way it'd be worth it for any coach, mindset coach, handset coach, hard set coach, to coach you if they couldn't guarantee you're going to make more money off of their coaching than they're charging you. That's the reason I wouldn't coach. I'm only month to month. I only guarantee profit. I don't guarantee the emotional, hey, you're going to think I changed your life, but you're still broke, which millions of coaches out there, they make money off of that. I don't give a shit if you think I'm great. All I care about is at the end of the month, did my introductions and my advice make you more money than I cost you? Because that takes away, you don't have enough time and you don't have enough money, because I'm a fucking excuse my language, I'm a profit center. So that's the only thing that I can think of to tell you it's worth it, because if it's not worth it. If you can't make your bills and you're investing in something that's not a profit center or guaranteed to be a profit center, then you're wasting your money and time. So I'm very pragmatic when it comes to coaches, and I hold that standard and take accountability myself. I tell people all the time, you can tell me, even if I'm a profit center for you, you don't like the color of my hair and you want to quit. Awesome. Because I'm month to month and I'll give you your money back. Any month you tell me I wasn't of value to you, or you just can't afford it, even though I was a profit center, I'm good with that. But I also can fire you for the number one reason people don't succeed, which is, look, I know you feel good and you brag that David Meltzer is your coach in this space or whatever, but you're not doing the work. And I can't want this more for you than you want it for yourself. And I got a long wait list of people that want and have the desire to be what they must be. So you're fired. And a lot of people, including very close people, I can't mention names, I have fired as clients. And other people are like, are you kidding me? Why would you ever do that? They pay you. And I was like, yeah, but they're not doing the work. It's like, I'm a novelty. I don't want to be a novelty. I want to make you money so you can help a ton of people and have fun with your life and teach other people how to do the same.
Yeah. Amazing. I mean, that's probably the most realistic, pragmatic answer I've gotten to that question because there's always, there's always seems to be a workaround, right?
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, if you're hiring someone to get business results, then it should be, on a specific timeline. It should be a specific, minimum ROI that goes with it. But that's risky because a lot of people may not be that confident. I mean, you can only, if you're a coach, you've heard the pro this, like you only have to be one chapter ahead to be a mentor, right? I don't know if that's true or not. I feel like you need to be farther, right? You have to be able to guarantee it.
Yeah, you have to be able to guarantee it because look, there's too many people that claim to be a coach. So why not go with one that's confident enough to guarantee it and mitigate your risk? The only loss you'll have is a month of your time. And it's usually not the entire month. So, and I'm sure you got some value out of it. But I love it. It's funny about my wait list because it keeps growing because of the guarantee and because of the reputation and successes. But my favorite thing is I tell people, you're going on my wait list, but you may not come off of it until I can feel comfortable and confident in guaranteeing that I can be a profit center. So come into a free Friday training or Monday one-on-one networking group with thousands of people. It's a few bucks. I also guarantee that any reason, anytime, but come in there so that I can get comfortable with the fact that I can live up to my guarantee. Because if somebody isn't, and they're bullshitting you, even if they give you a guarantee, if they haven't learned what you're doing today, what's working, what's not working, if they haven't asked you those 3 questions and they still guarantee it, I still think you're wasting your time. And the chances are you're going to be asking for a refund if you don't have a coach that asks you at least, tell me what's going on today, what's working and what's not working. If they haven't even gotten there, then I would go ahead and find someone else to guarantee the profit center and success for you.
Yeah. Awesome. I want to shift ever so slightly, David, to content itself. So maybe we can get into like the content schedule, the sheer amount of content that you put out. We talked about it earlier, but you're on a lot of different platforms. You do podcasts, you're on all the socials, you do lives, you do speaking events, you do
TV
all these things.
shows,
TV
movies, I
shows,
do
yeah,
traditional media, right?
it's incredible. When you're telling someone on the content journey, like how do you describe content as a tool to reach your business goals, and how do you adapt certain platforms or activities? Like when do you know what to do a podcast? When do you know to build your social? Like when do you know to get up and speak in front of people or write a book? Like how do you leverage all these content? How do you address it per case for your clients?
Yeah. So number one step, I say forget about anything other than being a content capture. So I don't even consider myself a content creator. I hire editors, producers, directors, amplifiers, ad spenders to create my content. I'm a content capture. So what I need to start with is let me teach you how to capture your essence. You see, what makes me different is that I'm me. That's the only thing that makes me different. I got this right here. You see that? Nobody else has that. That's my fingerprint. That nobody else has that. They can copy me with AI, my sound of my voice, the movement, the double chin, the receding hairline. They can copy all that shit, but nobody can get this right here. And so until I'm comfortable with capturing this, my essence, then I don't care about creating content. All I care about is capturing it. And so someone comes to me and said, I think I'd like to do a podcast. You should do a podcast. And you should capture 10 of them that nobody ever will see before you tell anyone you're doing a podcast. Because I'll tell you why. Not only will you be exponentially better at the podcast, but it'll put you in the top 1% of podcasts just by doing 10 of them, because most people don't know what the F they're doing and they don't get help and they don't capture the content correctly and they quit before they get to 10 episodes. They don't get to 1,000 like you or 4,000 like me. because they don't know how to capture content. See, Shakespeare had it right. The whole world is actually your stage. And so if the whole world is your stage, then you need to capture the content first, then hire people that are experts in modifying it, then hire people that are experts in amplifying it, then hire someone that has a strategy to create a social silo, a community to perpetuate it. Because some platforms don't perpetuate content, but some do. See, my content is so far out there, my social silo is so deep. The rabbit hole is so big that I have an entire full-time employee that goes out 7 days a week to social events, to trade shows, anywhere he goes. And his whole job is to ask people, hey, how are you? What do you do? Whether it's a truck stop, whether it's a bus stop, whether it's a train, plane, automobile, a lobby in a hotel, a trade show, it doesn't matter. This kid's job is to just say, hey, what do you do? Tell me what's working. What do you like? Tell me what's not working. What don't you like? Would it help you if, no matter what they say, would it help you if I introduced you to David Meltzer? Now they get 3 responses. Who the hell is that's the most common? Because most people on earth don't know me. And then he gets an opportunity to go, oh, here, do you use Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat? What do you use? Oh, here's David Meltzer. That's why the rabbit hole is so big and it's so important, because now, without doing anything, they'll either love me, because 10% of the people are going to love me no matter what. They're going to be aware of me, which is 80% of the people. So I'm one step ahead in growing my community, or 10% are going to hate me no matter what. And then they're going to protect me from other people that are going to hate me, because they're going to tell people, hey, have you ever heard of Dave Meltzer? Don't watch him. So I don't have as many haters because those people are protecting me. So then they're in that rabbit hole. So you understand that this stage theory, I call it, from Shakespeare, is you just have to figure out capturing the content and getting to your essence, then hire someone to edit it, modify it, then amplify it, and then perpetuate it. So that's how I walk through when I coach people on building a podcast, writing books, speaking on stages. And the funniest thing is that you only have to know your essence. What is your essence when it comes to content? 2 things. Lessons, because life's about lessons and you have a fingerprint of your own experience. And 2, the other fingerprint essence is the stories that tell the lessons. This is human nature, right? Go anywhere. I just got back from Egypt. What do you think the hieroglyphics were doing? They were teaching lessons and telling stories with pictures of people and animals and things. So, sun. But more importantly, if you realize that, then you should be capturing the lessons that resonate with you, which means you strongly agree with the lesson or you strongly disagree with the lesson. You should be more interested than interesting and start practicing in a comfortable, confident way, telling stories about those lessons. Now, once you have a repository of lessons and stories, you can write books, speak on stages, do podcasts, be interviewed, interview other people. You can create business development, because everybody knows that value is derived in only 2 ways: giving people more of what they like or taking away some, if not all, of what they don't like. And it's the lessons and stories that provide that to people.
Beautiful. So, in the content creation side, I know only got you for a few more minutes here, David, but so capturing, editing, right? 2 things that I feel like are fairly simple if you're committed and easily accessible. Amplifying. That's where most people get hung up on, right? Like, how do you actually amplify? Like, I could create, however podcasts I've created, but getting it out to more people seems to be the biggest challenge, because where everyone's attention is at such high demand nowadays. So, maybe give us some tactics, strategies, tips for amplifying our content.
Well, first of all, don't pay for content to be amplified. Just post and post and post and post. And then when something works, work within that trend, your own personal trend, not what Instagram's telling you the trends are, or TikTok's telling you the trends are. Work within your essence trend, because there's 7.6 billion people. So I create more content and post more content. And then I'm in a position now, when it works, I start testing it with money, and I see how far I can take it to get an ROI on that investment in that content. But the number one thing is, don't believe anyone when they say you post too much, or you email too much, or you make too many phone calls, or you knock on too many doors. Bullshit. The day that my mom, who loves me more than anyone on earth and thinks way, way too highly of me, The day my mom comes to me and say, honey, stop writing books, stop emailing, stop posting. I'm tired of you. It's too much. Then I'll know I reached the minimum of how much I should. Now, another nuance, the bigger the people and the bigger the stage, the more you'll address a bigger community. I'll repeat that. The bigger the people in your video and the bigger the stage in your video, the more people you'll reach. And so one of the nuances, and not everyone has the reach that I have because I am blessed to know so many extraordinary big people. And now I'm getting on big stages. But in the past, I used to get on big stages that had no people watching because I knew it was more important to stand on a big stage with no one watching than it was to stand on a small stage with 50 people watching or 100 people watching. So I had a preference in my content. And when I say big stages, I'm not necessarily just saying speaking at, Delta Center. I'm talking about, why do I have my office and studio at SoFi Stadium? There's no one behind me at SoFi Stadium, but it's a big stage and it gets a lot of attraction of a lot of people. And then I bring in big people to be on with me on the big stage, and I get more addressable community. Remember, for the first time in your life, you have a total addressable community of 7.6 billion people or more. And all you need to do in 1 year is to get two people that love you so much, they'll tell two people to love you so much. If you get into that mathematical equation, in 20 years, you will be the most popular person according to your essence, your subject matter, topic, or expertise. Because 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 to the 20th is 2 million people, getting you 2 million people that love you. I promise, if you get 2 million people that love you and can get you 2 million people to love you every year, you'll be the most popular person in your subject matter, topic, or expertise. So number one, post your ass off. And two, get on the biggest stages with the biggest people you can.
Fantastic. David, you brought the heat, man. You really did. That was an action-packed 30 minutes. dmeltzer.com. I mean, where else would you like people to go? Where would you like our audience to go check
Well,
out?
I love your audience. They're right aligned with my frequency, and my frequency is my neighborhood. And the best way I can get people to join my neighborhood is to give them me, which is my favorite book, Connected to Goodness. So if you email me, david@dmeltzer.com, that's my first name, David, first initial D, Meltzer like seltzer with an A, david@dmeltzer.com. I will sign my book. I will send it to you, pay for shipping and the book. If you just email me, david@dmeltzer.com, I'd love you to be a part of my community. Please email me. I'm here of service and value on a mission to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. I can teach you how to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. I've never met anyone that makes a lot of money, helps a lot of people, and has a lot of fun every day that isn't happy.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. This is fun. Love to do it again sometime next year, David. Really
Yes.
appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, David Meltzer.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Awesome, man.